Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. It's all about racing. In this particular episode, we're going to take a look at an older 2017 911 GT3-R from Pfaff Motorsports. Now, anybody familiar with Pfaff Motorsports in North America is probably familiar with the plaid covered car that you see right there that we will be reviewing shortly. And it competes in the IMSA WeatherTech series. Now, as I had mentioned, this particular car is made by Spark. This is in 1/43 scale. This is an early model that competed in the Sprint X series, which we'll be talking about shortly. The car comes with an acrylic jewel cover. And being a part of the Porsche Limited Dealership Edition collection, it comes in this Castrol themed box that clearly sports Porsche everywhere you look at it, as well in the inside where it notes Pfaff Motorsports. And the back of the box also sports Pfaff Motorsports as well. Now, I usually don't spend a lot of time on teams in my reviews of cars, but Pfaff Motorsports is literally so famous here in North America that I feel we should go over its history a little bit. This team is based out of Ontario, Canada, and is one of the most successful in North America. The team has led over 5,000 laps since its inception, 36 pole positions, 36 race wins, and 7 championships. Over the team's 50-year history, it's been synonymous with developing Canadian driving talent. And in 2017, team president and CEO Chris Pfaff was inducted into the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. Good for him. Pfaff is an independent Porsche customer team which has competed competitively in the IMSA WeatherTech series against Porsche factory teams that had a greater than a 50% budget. And after winning the Rolex 2022 Rolex 24-hour and the GT3 Pro Championship, drivers Matthew Jaminet, Matt Campbell, and Felipe Nasser, I guess you could say they were picked off and moved on to the Porsche Fantasy GTP program. That's how successful these guys were with the plaid car that we're going to be reviewing in another livery. Now, this particular livery that you're looking at was from the 2017 Sprint X series with Castrol colors, which I think are really cool. And most of you have probably never seen this. Now, the Sprint X series consisted of GT3 and GT4 spec cars that competed in circuits such as the Circuit of the Americas, VIR, Lime Rock Park, Portland International Raceway, and Utah Motorsports. Now, this particular number 96 Pfaff Motorsports Porsche 911 GT3-R was driven by Canadian Scott Hargrove. You can see that right up there. And German Wolf Hensler. Now, the 2017 991 GT3-R features a 3.6-liter flat, 3.8-liter flat six-cylinder rear-mounted engine rated at 338 kilowatts and 453 horsepower at 8,500 RPMs. It has a paddle shift 6-speed transmission. It weighs at 1,175 kilograms or 2,590 pounds and has a top speed of 180 miles per hour, BOP excluded. Now, this particular car, I think, is just absolutely gorgeous in this black, white, green, and red livery. The Castrol colors, which you can clearly see on the car. Now, remember, I always say, take a look at the wheels. They're usually an indication of how good the car is. Well, this is a Spark model, and this is a limited edition model of only 300 made that can be purchased from Toronto Motorsports, which I will put a link to in the description below. But anyhow, it has the Pirelli P0 tires with the red wheels and the BBR logo on there, as well as brake calipers. Absolutely gorgeously well done. If you take a look at the nose of the car, you can see the carbon fiber dive planes with green accents. You have 2 of them, as well as the accents around the front spur, also done in gorgeous carbon. You can see, I really like that carbon fiber mirror that you see, as well as the black louvers, which unfortunately are just painted and they're not stratiated like they are on some of the other cars that Spark has made, but it still looks very, very good nevertheless. I like the green louvers on the rear, beside the rear tire, excuse me there. Look very, very sharp. You got Worth on the rear wing. The car features one aerial on the top, on this black and green Castrol themed Porsche 911. Here's a cool look at the front of the car. It's basically all done in black carbon fiber along with the grille, which you can see there. It does have green trim on there. The dive planes are really nicely done in carbon fiber, and I had mentioned they do have green trim on the side. You can see the white arrow pointing to the tow hook, which is there in red. Carbon, headlights typical of the car of that fashion. Notice the striated air vents that feed to the radiator. You cannot see the radiator from this position, but it is done in silver. It is visible. You've also got the fuel tank input valve right there in the center of the car. And a neat touch I really like over here, you can see the little pull tab to kill the power for the car in case the driver is unable to, as well as an emergency tab to light the fire extinguisher in the event of a fire. Interesting how they have Hensler and Hargrove on the front windshield, number 96. You can tell this is probably an SRO event. And there's a really good look at the carbon fiber mirror, which I think just looks absolutely spectacular. Here you can see the interior of the car. It's got a round steering wheel. You can see the typical Porsche vents, that feed air to the driver. There's a net back there. The entire interior basically is white, as well as the white frame structure. You can see wiring through there. Seat belts very nicely done in red. Hensler and Hargrove again. You've got the leader light panel on the back there. That looks almost like IMSA-like more than it does SRO, which typically has that on the front windshield. And look at the back here is absolutely gorgeous. You can see the framework within the rear window. Of course, this being a rear-mounted engine, you can't see that. Porsche clearly in red and white on the rear wing. And I think the back of this car looks really cool. You've got Pfaff right there. You've got the taillights. Look at the carbon fiber trim. The tow hook again pointed by the white arrow just below the number 96. Good looking taillights, typical Spark fashion. And again, those green louvers just behind the rear wheel. Very, very cool. Very sharp. Well, folks, that's it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Take care.